Hi everybody, greetings to you from South Africa on our national holiday for Freedom Day, 27th of March 2023, which brings us to almost 30 years of democracy in South Africa. The theme that the government chose to tag onto this day for this year is consolidating and safeguarding democratic gains. And if you think about that and you compare it to what's happening in South Africa, it feels a little bit fake in my experience and in the current lived experience of most South Africans. We don't feel like we've done a great job in consolidating or safeguarding our democratic gains. In fact, a lot of us feel under threat and unprotected by the government. And although I'm not an anarchist, I believe that leadership matters. I believe that when you stand up to say that you're going to do something, that you should do it, and that it should be good for the people. I don't think democracy works if you have a leadership whose only concern is themselves. So I apologize for being political, but what I would like to encourage you to do is to really look at who's doing the work. In my experience, especially lately, we have got to preserve the social sector without the state and without relying on the state. Many of you will have followed in the media what's been going on lately. If you haven't, please feel free to go and have a look online. There have been really, really tragic decisions being made by our leadership to cut the funding to so many people in the social service sector, where it's now leaving our beneficiaries even more vulnerable than they were in the first place. There is no safe place to go when you need help because the government is unable to honor their own commitments, and now the social sector is being completely defunded, which is leaving them with being unable to offer the support and the help that they have for so many years. So I would really encourage you to look in your communities and see where the disconnect is happening, where people are being destabilized because of the loss of funding, and then try to support there. It's really, really important. Many people in the NPO sector collaborate to provide the service. You know, we are like a safety net for society. If we don't help the elderly, we know who does. If we don't help the disabled, we know who does, and we know who does that well. Like, we don't refer you to people who can't do the job well. So we are in this together, all of us, trying to rebuild the social fabric and support the need where it exists on the ground. And the state is now removing our ability to do that by taking away the resources. So if you have access to corporate budgets, to personal investments, to church groups and youth groups and people who can get involved to help lift this up, please do that. It's a crisis at the moment. We're trying to put as much pressure on as we can to change the government's mind, although in our experience, often what is said in public isn't what happens on the ground. So although they say they might reverse the cuts and change all of those things, in reality we're not holding our breath. So please, please, please look for places where you can bring your support, even if it's just to say you're on our side. It's really, really meaningful, because it's a very scary place to be right now.